okay? And we have some information for you. Beginning in July of 2012, the Alamance County Sheriff's Department started an undercover operation throughout Alamance County, the cities and the county, aimed at local street level dealers of narcotics in Alamance County. They have posed a threat to our young people here in Alamance County, and we are determined to stop their dealings in this county the best we can. At 5 o'clock this morning, all the agencies in Alamance County, including federal agencies and state agencies, began the roundup of 68 individuals on 228 felony drug charges and 115 misdemeanor charges. Of these 68 individuals, approximately 18 of those individuals are possibly habitual felons. And with that, I'm going to turn the podium over to our District Attorney, Pat Nadowski.
Thanks, Sheriff. I want to start out, first of all, just saying I want to commend the Alamance County Sheriff's Department, specifically Terry Johnson, who leads the Alamance County Sheriff's Department and their efforts in this operation. And I also want to commend all the law enforcement agencies that were involved, because it was a multi-agency approach today when they went out and arrested these individuals. I can't specifically comment on these cases specifically, but I will say this. I will say a couple things. Generally, drug dealers prey on the weak. They put our children's lives at risk. And Alamance County is not going to stand for drug dealers in our community. We're going to be vigilant, seeking them out, and prosecuting them to protect our families and provide for safer communities. Terry spoke about this a little bit. We're going to be looking at these cases. We're going to be looking at the individual cases and seeing if they qualify as habitual felons, and we'll be acting appropriately if they do qualify for that status. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Do you have any questions about anything that we've covered at this point?
How many more people are still waiting to be arrested?
We have, I think, arrested currently 37 people, so we've got another 31 that we are seeking at this time, and we'll continue throughout the day, tonight, and until we get everyone in custody. This operation was named as Operation Snowflake, and there will be another operation coming down the road, believe me. We are not going to sit back and watch our children being ruined by drugs here in Alamance County.
Sheriff, can you speak to why you chose to go after street level dealers instead of major traffickers?
Well, certainly we are working on the major drug traffickers, those cartel members that are bringing the drugs across the borders. We are working with the Drug Enforcement Administration trying to apprehend these individuals, and are doing so. A lot of those cases are never reported to the media simply because they try to run these cases all the way back across the border to get cartel members. Our biggest problem with our children here in Alamance County is your local street dealers, and we're having to do two facets. One, to go after those cartel members, and two, is try to clean up our streets for our children to be safe and our schools to be safe here in Alamance County. And by working together with all the departments here, and I emphasize all the departments, Burlington, Mebane, Hall River, Elon, Gibsonville, Graham, North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement, FBI Street Task Force, Safe Streets Task Force, and all these other agencies has agreed to help us clean up our streets. And they were here this morning, and they were involved in the arrest of these individuals. And we are going to turn up the heat on these street dealers. Any questions?
Any of them showing up with any gang affiliation yet?
Absolutely.
Are these multiple gangs you're talking about, or
Ma'am?
multiple gangs, or what kind of gang problem?
some of these people in here are associates and gang affiliates to gangs in this county. And we have over 600 validated gang members, I think, in this county right now.
The gang task force was involved in this also.
And gang task force was also involved in this too. Burlington, Alamance County Gang Task Force.
Describe a little bit about the number of charges, what kind of charges are people facing?
We're looking at cocaine charges, we're looking at Percocet charges, prescription drugs, we're looking at marijuana, we're looking at white liquor, we're looking at bonded liquor, you know, a whole gamut of your drug charges here is involved.
And what is the punishment like for these charges? How much time can they spend behind bars?
The punishment depends on the record level or how many crimes they've been convicted of prior to this. So it's going to depend on their prior record level. That can range anywhere. It depends on what type of substance they're charged with possessing and selling, but it can be significant. And if they have attained the status of an habitual felon and they're indicted as such, they can do significant time, somewhere in the range of 7 to 8 years.
And one of the things that we learned here is it's been a long time here in Alamance County since we've seen methamphetamine on the streets and since we've seen LSD. In this undercover operation, we purchased methamphetamine and LSD, which means it's on strong comeback here in Alamance County. And we're hoping we can curtail some of this action here in the county.
Sheriff, is there a reason why, if your undercover officer started purchasing from these people in July 2012, why you guys have waited a year and a half to arrest these people for those offenses?
Let me say, in the future, I think you'll understand that. At this time, I don't feel like I can answer that question without possibly endangering some other operations we're looking at.
Just talking about the meth, you think there's any labs now in this county?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
So after you process these people, how much more do y'all have left that's like investigation do y'all have left connected to that?
I will say this, we're not gonna stop investigating. There's gonna be leads coming out of these arrests today. And we are vigorously going to pursue those leads to apprehend other drug dealers in this county and out of this county if it takes us that way.
Have there been any connections, possibly outside the county or outside of the state, do y'all believe?
Absolutely.
Any weapons here worth mentioning picked up in this?
I'm sure there was. I haven't had an opportunity to talk to a lot of our people that are arrested, but anytime we go in and arrest individuals, many times we find weapons, sawed-off shotguns, pistols, different various weapons. I will know once all the teams get through today what we've been able to accomplish along those lines.
Sheriff, there have been some peripheral charges that we're just now putting the information together on. There was some things unrelated to the operation that there was an individual found in violation of a 50B domestic violence order during the arrest. You may not have heard that, but I just ran that just a few minutes ago out here. An individual was found to be in possession of a trafficking level amount of narcotics at the time of his arrest on other charges. And we picked up at least one other person we had an outstanding warrant on that didn't have anything to do with this operation. It was just another warrant, totally unrelated. So there's some other stuff that we're going to have, the sheriff said we're going to have to put together because it's still being, the charges still being made and those investigations are still running.
Sheriff, you mentioned that there's a lot of leads that you all are going to follow after today. Once the suspects were taken into the interview rooms, were most of them cooperative and providing other information?
Let's say some were cooperative and some were not. Some asked for attorneys. When that happened, we break off any interview, but I assure you we have leads that will be followed.
It was said that somebody walked in and surrendered today. Do you believe that you'll have more people like that now that they know that this has gone down, that more people will come out and give themselves up because they're afraid, or?
Just prior to this news conference, we had one of our suspects come in, give himself up, said, I understand you had a warrant. He said, what for? And when I told him what it was for, he said, dadgummit, I knew it. I knew it. You know, and I said, are you gonna talk to our officers? He said, yeah. He said, I messed up. You know. So. Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff.